curious about the programs only with certain VTuber programs. It's actually an overlay program. So you can use it for anything. We actually have Basecamp people that also use it. Obviously, that just means if you're using it as a straight overlay, that you have to like make your own reactions if that's what you want to use it for. Otherwise, it's just throwing stuff. But yeah, it can work with anything.
Yeah, it's essentially purposefully built to be like as customizable as possible, so you can use it with whatever, with a PNG or a face cam. But in the end, the best result will be with a VTuber model, since then you have automatic reactions to the hits and stuff. But it's not 100% necessary.
Let's see here. Do you know if it plays well with fully 3D software such as Warudo?
I think Warudo has a OSC receiver, since it mainly works with VRM models, which is similar to how VC Face works, and that can actually work together because there is OSC support, so it just sends out data that the VTuber model got hit. So almost any program that runs VRM models should also have an OSC receiver somewhere in the settings, and then it can work together with hits. I would need to check out Warudo.
Was it difficult to make it compatible with Linux?
In certain aspects, yes, in others, no. Like, because the program is made in Unity, Unity is very compatible with a lot of platforms. It is very easy. The issue is mainly that because I mainly programmed for Windows, I also only was like mainly looking around for stuff, like importing libraries into the project, or assets that mainly advertise that they work with Windows. And I think the biggest challenge was my global hotkey system was tied to Windows specifically. So I had to isolate that and make sure that it's disabled on Linux. And it was a little bit of a work, but overall it wasn't that difficult. The main issues are just managing what works and what doesn't. For example, Spout doesn't really work with Linux, so I couldn't enable Spout there. And yeah, it's mainly trying now to find equivalent solutions to stuff like the global hotkeys or Spout that work in Linux. Honestly, Linux was much, much simpler than making Mac OS work. Mac OS was horrible.
Yeah, I don't even like using Mac.
Yeah, no, it's just that Apple has so many requirements that make it such a pain to work with and to verify the program so it works on like other people's systems. I even talked with the VTube Studio dev, and he was like, sadly told me too late, like, don't bother with Mac, it's not worth it. It's like maybe 1% more sales, but it's not worth the pain.
Yeah.
But that was too late.
Thank you for the raid, Fate. Welcome in, welcome in. Hi.
So yeah, in the end, Linux was way more plug and play. Mac OS was the real pain. But also I need to improve my setup so that exporting all of it is easier.
So many items.
That's a lot of items.
Yeah, Sushi, I noticed that the VSO didn't work. I think it might be the scene that I'm on. I also just disabled a bunch of stuff in StreamerBot as well. What makes it rain? Let me go over. I think I've got it down here. When you go into aim customization, you can just click preset rain, and it'll automatically select these. I like to keep it in the middle though.
Yeah, essentially what rain just functions by having it spawn at the top and not having a target. If no target is selected, the items will just fall.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's similar, like if you select drop, it's gonna like specifically choose where your overlay is located.
Yeah.
The outline itself, not necessarily like your model or anything. So, but if you're using VTube Studio and the outline is following you, then you know. But yeah, rain is just straight down anywhere.
Looking at this, it might be worth it to add more presets, but I have to check the code how easy that is actually to do. But I'm writing it down.
How large of an object can you get and still work properly? That would depend on the actual file size. There's actually somebody in the Discord that's tried to do. I wonder if they actually got it working. They had like a model of a truck and they were trying to do like an isekai kind of redeem.
Oh my god.
I don't know if they got it to work. It was such a cool idea though.
That is something that will probably be possible in the next program that I'm working on.
That's what you're thinking about too, yeah. I do wonder if they got that working. That was like, golly, like last year or something.
The size should actually not really be that. Like, file size is the biggest issue, but actual size, as long as it doesn't have collision with the screen edge, it should work.
Yeah.
But the main issue is the spawning logic, since it can be that it just spawns in the middle of the screen because it's so big.
Yeah.
Instead of at the actual edge.
Yeah, because you can set up. Let me go to new trigger here. Actually, let me just make a fresh trigger. But if you go to screen relative, let me try this one.
I think the best way would
Yeah.
be in the object customization.
I think from the bottom left would actually like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you can lock the rotation as well.
I would lock rotation and probably also reduce the speed.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
That
I'm gonna select like an arrow. Oh, I only have like a 3 arrow thing. Do I have a knife? Let's do a knife. Let me. Let's see what that looks like. Oh no, that's the wrong rotation. Wait, no, this. Oh. The Wii.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've never seen that before. I think this is object. Oh, I don't remember which one's which.
I think it's Y rotation. Rotating around the Y axis is the Although it might be z-axis, because I think in Unity z is the one facing towards.
Oh. It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Oh, wait. The other way. I need to go the other way. Oh, yeah. So you could set up a truck like that.
And then you could set it up that it disappears on hit or something. Or it gets stuck.
Oops. Yeah, I was gonna, for the knife, I was gonna try the stuck object action. Yeah, we'll just try the stick. Ooh.
So Shrimply, there is currently a option for a mischance. So you can give the object a mischance with which it will just avoid the model. If you wanted to. You could
Yeah, we
also
have.
dodge it. So if you do make it slow and you throw, you can move your model out of the way in between.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, I want to try that now. I didn't even realize you could do that. I'm gonna slow that down. Let me pull up V2 Studio. Wait, I gotta change the aim location. Okay, ready, set, go. That works. Raphael says, or asks, will there be UI improvements in the future for TITS?
Currently, there's no plan for that. I know that the UI is currently, honestly, one of my biggest pain points with TITS. And the main issue is that I have put so much work now into the new project to make the UI a lot more modular, better, and like more data driven instead of what TITS has become, because it is honestly an amalgamation when you look at the UI code. And it's the question of, is it worth it to put the effort into redoing the entire UI? Because the UI improvements would need an entire rework of the UI. That's the main issue, which honestly has stopped UI development, because working with it is an absolute pain. But I also am trying to add new things on new UIs or slight improvements, but it always takes forever, because it's also one of those cases where I do one small UI change here and suddenly something else breaks, and it just, yeah, it would need an entire rework.
What's the you fix one bug and 5 more appear?
Yeah, in TITS that is a real issue, sadly.
Will it ever be compatible with Fuji for PNG tours?
I have honestly not heard of Fuji yet. I'm writing it down. I would need to essentially check if they have any kind of API that could be hooked into
I think they
outside
do
of.
now. Because
They
VTube
do?
Studio has something now.
Okay, let me write it down.
Um,
Because I remember that I was asked under the TITS HIO page to make it work with PNG tubers, and I was so confused what they meant by that.
Here it is. Let me go to config. Nope,
Discord Reactive.
yeah,
see.
so it requires premium. That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, they have an API here. What is their premium? $420 a month or $420 or $42 a year. That does have
Okay.
API. Okay.
I wrote it down, and it is a potential addition that I can make. I would need to read the API though and figure out how that would be possible to integrate with TIDS. But that's definitely something I can look into. I just didn't know.
I wonder what
I'm
endpoints they
writing
have
it down.
though. Like,
yeah, that's the main question. What's the endpoints? What's like the what can I do? Can I get the screen position essentially? Because then I can move the overlay there. And the other question would be if they have some kind of endpoint to maybe make it jump or something, the PNG, because then I could kind of have it jump on a hit.
yeah.
Okay, I found the API docs. I'm writing that down.
Okay.
Oh
Let's
wait,
see.
is that it? Oh no, wrong thing. Sorry.
Sushi. The tax collector decided he really wanted to respond to you there. No,
Wait,
you don't have to purchase it again. It's a one time. There's no like subscription or anything. Um, we do recommend creating an account though, because that makes it a lot easier to recover a lost purchase versus, hey, I don't have access to this email anymore, or I've lost this email, because it's a pain to try to recover your purchase at that point.
yeah. In general, I also have in the past considered or been asked if I wanted to make something like Tits a subscription. I thought it was so stupid, honestly, because there's nothing that has like really an ongoing cost. It's more of a like you buy the program, you own the program kind of thing.
I'm gonna grab some of the questions out of this thread here.
Yeah.
First one is, will the Steam version of Tits have workshop support? Which I know that's kind of uh, a different kind of answer now.
It's a difficult answer because currently I'm still struggling and in the process of getting Tits on Steam in the first place. So that's the main question right now. The Steam Workshop is something I have considered. Currently, the issue is that because of how Tits started out, how the objects are stored data-wise is an absolute mess, and I don't know if it would even be possible to make it workshop compatible. That's the main issue, because obviously the main points that people would probably share on a workshop would be either the 3D models or stuff like or maybe custom triggers. But currently the data, how the data is stored for those, is quite the mess and tied to a third-party asset that I used back then, which was kind of stupid. But it's really not. It would be a lot of engineering to get Steam Workshop support working. But also, I have learned out of that mistake, which is why in vConnect, the new program that I'm working on, I have avoided that mistake, and that should, like, there I should be able to do something like workshop support or similar things. It's just sadly that in TIDS it's a technical limitation, not really that another or really nothing else. The main question now is if I get Steam working, then I can look at the next steps if I want to add workshop support or other support. Because one support that I wanted to add was cloud saves, since that would be kind of useful for people that switch between PCs to have, but the first step is to see if Steam even accepts the program.
Cloud saves would be nice. Yeah, I'm a little mixed on whether or not I would enjoy cloud saves, just because you're starting to get into like data processing.
Yeah, the thing is just that Steam already has the cloud saves integration. I can
Yeah, that's true.
basically just point it at the folder where stuff is saved in TITS and have that in the cloud. And then people can still decide on a PC if they wanna have the cloud save or use a local one.
Yeah, I was just thinking because like if the Steam one has cloud saves, then it's like, what about the itch version kind of deal? But
That's also true.
yeah,
But the thing is about Steam is that they have all these integrations that make them easier to work with, since I don't need to set up a cloud infrastructure to
yeah, true.
have people save stuff. If I added it to the itch version, I would have to roll that out myself. So that's the main issue.
Sushi asked, how difficult is it to add new items in the current version? Sushi, do you mean like the objects that are being thrown? Is that what you're asking? Or are you talking about like on development side? Yeah, the thrown thingies. So you just come over into the object manager here, and you can import various different types of 3D objects, or you can do bone 3D objects, PNGs, GIFs, and then you can also import your emotes from Twitch as well. So it's pretty simple, and then it just opens up your file browser. Miner says, is there a way to make the background fully transparent for the Linux version? OBS doesn't have conventional game capture, and there are workarounds that need to be done to make it transparent, currently using chroma key. Oh, that's right, because Spout doesn't work for Linux, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think game capture also doesn't quite work on Linux. Or I think it might depend on which distros you use. I honestly, I will actually look into that. The next thing that I was planning to do is add NDI to TITS, which might actually make it work, but I will need to look into it. I also currently use Linux, so I can check that out easily. I think I remember in my OBS version I had a game capture, but I don't know if it could do transparency. I would need to do some tests.
Oops. Sushi, there's the answer to your question there. Spout 2 plugin is for OBS. It allows a different type of capture. In fact, if I do the weird thing and bring OBS over here, rearranged my thing. Okay, let me turn on studio mode. Here we go. So you can have spout capture at least two things. It's a little tricky if you have to restart one of the things after it's already started capturing. I had two of myself on stream earlier when I had to restart TETS. But it captures none of the overlay. Thank you for the follow. Let me. Well, in fact, you can see it here. Oh, let me close my browser. You can see it here on TITS. You only see the pink outline around my model, but you don't see like any of this other stuff on the screen. It's the same thing with VTube Studio. When I bring VTube Studio over, if I double click to bring up the menu, like you don't see over on the right side of the screen here, you're not seeing like extra stuff. Thank you for the follow. Flux, hi. And Zamaza. Hold on, I have to rearrange my... It squished all my chats and stuff. I can't see them. There we go. Hi, Zamaza. And Remnant. Hold on. Let me scroll up some. Your OBS confuses and scares me. It's a highly organized nested scene setup. I only actually use 5 scenes. Let's see. Miner asked. Oh no, not asked. Okay. They were just mentioning for Linux there's an OBS plugin, but it needs a code to be added to stream. And it's nearly impossible to add standalone things. Okay.
Yeah, what I think is probably the best solution that I can add. I'll have to check if NDI is available on Linux, but I think it is.
Remnant Mind. Since the update, I haven't been able to get the rain effect on one of my readings to work properly. Before it would just drop the image from the top and let it free fall, but now it throws the image at my model. I would say let me pull this up. I would say the best solution there would probably be to double check when you go into your trigger. In fact, let me go into my follow because it was already set to rain. Just come back in here to aim customization and just select it again. And you'll see all the squares update. Like if you come up here and you want to see it happen live, you can just select these squares, come over here, click rain. It should update. And that should get that fixed. If it doesn't, then remake the trigger. If it doesn't with that, then we can help you in Discord with it. Because that means there's probably something else going on. Also, hi Zamaza, longtime tits user.
Oh. Okay, that was awkward. My Discord just crashed.
Oh.
But I'm back now.
Yeah. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I have the streamer mode on, so I didn't even know you love chat.
Yeah, it was really weird because I just suddenly there was no sound, and when I looked at the stream and you were talking, so I was like, oh, okay.
Also, hi Flox, I know you. You don't know me, but I know you. I follow your tutorials. Yeah, if it still isn't working, ask in the Discord. Yeah. Because if remaking the trigger doesn't work, even after you've tried to like update the trigger, then there's probably something else going on, and we can help you troubleshoot it because it's probably something really specific to your system and your setup.
Sushi asked that we mentioned, or like that we mentioned that objects hitting the camera. What I meant is that there is a setting to have objects hit the screen edge. And obviously, if a object is really big and it collides with all 4 screen edges, it can jitter around because it doesn't know how to fit into the screen space.
Yeah, like it's, in fact, I'm gonna make a new trigger real quick. That like scales it up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see. Whoops. What is a big item I have? Let's see if we have a big chicken. Oh gosh. Oh, that was so slow.
Okay. You can scale it up even more.
Yeah, I was gonna. Wait. Do I have? Let me do screen edge. Oh gosh, that's too much.
Yeah, I thought already 50 is probably a lot.
Let's try 15. Yeah, so it just kind of doesn't do a whole lot with the screen edge because it doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. And currently it also sticks to your model
right.
once it hits. Yeah, it just like, yeah, this is what happens when it has no idea where to fit in because it's colliding with multiple things, and yeah.
Hi, Twisted. Welcome in. Yeah, big chicken. Is there a way to make it fly in a locked angle, then unlock after impact? You could do that. I think you could do that with on hit, with replace.
Yeah, you could replace it with a copy of the same object
Yeah,
that does have that unlocked. So theoretically, it's possible. It's a little bit of a pain to set up, but theoretically, yes. But I think it would take over the setting here from the trigger.
Oh, I might need to use a 3D object. It's kind of hard to tell with a PNG. Oops.
And a PNG also works for this case, but the main issue is that you would need to change the setting on the object instead of in the trigger, since the trigger overrides also the replaced object. So we would need essentially a copy of the object, one being locked and the other one being unlocked, and then replace.
Oh yeah, you're talking about having like two objects actually in your object manager. Okay.
That's kind of a workaround I would be thinking about. That's probably the easiest way to do that right now.
There's so many more settings than you missed. Yeah, there's a lot. I do a lot of really intricate stuff, but I also use StreamerBot on top of it. There's a lot of stuff you can do without even StreamerBot, but there's extra things that I do with StreamerBot. I think my favorite one that I do without a third party is the Jar of Bones. I actually have, in the event manager, I have a sound effect that happens, and then it waits 4 seconds, and then it throws the item. And so it kind of gives like a nice effect for when the trigger actually fires. A little bit of a delayed enjoyment.
So yeah, what Sushi mentioned, I think that is possible. I think you can set the rotation speed to 0 when it starts with no angular velocity. So you can start it out in a rotation, and once it hits, it starts rotating. I think that is possible.
You talk about like having rotation off, but then animation speed to 0?
No, it should be rotation speed. I think there should
Here,
should be a setting for it. And if you set that to 0, it should not rotate until it hits, I think.
Let me... Okay, so we got the boomerang on there. Oops. Yep, there it goes. So yeah, that would work.
Yeah, exactly. So that would work. Yeah.
Will it have a set angle then, like if a knife through? Yeah. Yeah, because if I set this back to the knife, because the under the advanced right here is how you set the rotation angle. And then if you want it to simulate it popping off of armor or something, wait, here, VTS action. No, not action. The parameter action. Are these just going to default to 0? I've never actually added parameter actions before.
What is the intent?
To remove all VTS reactions.
Oh, just remove the parameter action then. You just need the override toggle. That's all you need.
Oh, okay.
Because then it's going to override the parameter action on the object, which is there by default.
Okay.
And your model should not react anymore.
There it goes. I'll give you 2D abstraction. Yeah, so that does it. So all you have to do is just select the overwrite. That's easier than I thought it was.
Yeah, the override will just remove whatever is on the model itself, and I think all the models that get imported by default get the parameter actions to make it simple. And Sushi, sadly, that's currently not possible. I don't know if it will ever be possible, since the issue there is that TITS doesn't know exactly where the 3D model is. Since it can be in 3D space, and TITS kind of works in 2D space, it's a bit weird. It's sadly not really possible to do. It's kind of like how it works now. It just stays stuck as an overlay. It can't do. That's a technical limitation.
I have seen people get creative with that. For VTube Studio, because you can trigger a VTube Studio hotkey,
Oh
have
yeah.
it do the on hit, and then there just be an item like sticking out of your model somewhere. I have seen people do that.
Yeah. I also asked recently the VTube Studio dev if there would be a possibility for an API endpoint to essentially get the same behavior, where I can select a screen point and it tells me the essentially the location on an art mesh that that point is on, so that we could technically pin something to that and track it. But so that is kind of a feature request I'm asking if it is possible, but currently it's not.
In a simulated 3D space. I'm not sure that's possible, Tristan. Is that
Could
what
you
you were
not
just
make
talking about?
could you not make a plus for 3D models to simulate a 3D space? That's what for what exactly? For 3D models?
Yeah, I think talking about like getting it stuck into like the model.
I'm there's like the issue with multiple limitations. The first limitation obviously is that TITS is an overlay.
Oh, overlapping 2D spaces on top of each other. Like adding reactive 3D items that can be placed. Oh, I see. It's almost like telling it to go in this one exact spot and then having it like go between the
Yeah,
layers, I guess.
yeah,
Like a
but
front and a back.
I understand the idea behind it. The issue is just how does TITS know where exactly the 3D model is and how it's turned, how it's rotated to have it like stick exactly there. That's just not really possible currently, because sadly the OSC protocol doesn't give that detailed information. Otherwise, that would be so much data being constantly thrown around about, like, it would need to tell me where exactly all the vertices are every frame, which is a lot.
I think a workaround with that is placing an overlay on top of the screen to make it feel more in the scene.
There is. So the funny thing is that I keep coming back to this a lot, to reconnect the new program I'm working on, since obviously it was my answer to a lot of problems I see with TITS. I was like, okay, there's issues with TITS that I cannot reasonably fix, and it makes more sense to make a new program from scratch. And there it is actually that the VTuber model is actually integrated into the program, so stuff can appear behind and in front of it, and make it feel more like it's in the scene instead of just being an overlay.
Yeah.
I wish I could show off more, but right now it's in the stage of I'm currently working with on fixing bugs. It's like it's hard to show off right now, especially because I'm on my Linux on Linux right now, and it works a lot better on Windows right now. Still, yeah, a little bit. That's kind of what the new one is supposed to be like. Is intended to be just one thing that you record instead of having to have a VTube Studio source and a TIT source on top of it. It would be just one source.
Linux question. Will it always be an app image, or will there eventually be a Flatpak version? Flatpak is much easier to update from my experiences.
That is very true. I have actually not even looked into how to set up a Flatpak. Since I would need to check how to first of all bundle it into a Flatpak and then also publish it on something like FlatHub, so that it is discoverable by people. I will actually need to look into that to make it to make a definite decision on it. It's for me more of a learning experience on how to make it better on Linux, since that is something I haven't dealt with, but I'm writing it down as something I can look into and potentially publish. The only issue is that obviously I think if it is on FlatHub, then it would be free to download for anyone. So I would need to check how it would work with itch.io and a Flatpak.
I have another question from the thread here.
Mm-hmm.
It says I do have some questions about low poly assets. Recently, I did my first throwable and posted it, but while doing it, I couldn't help but to think, what would be the best practices for doing this simple model, like number of tries, should it all have the same mesh, etc. So I would definitely be preparing my questions for it if you're inclined to do so. Okay. So just talking about like how to make low poly assets for it.
For low poly, the best practices are kind of what it is for usual low poly art or like low poly assets. The main thing is currently that the best way to export it and import it into TITS would be in GLB format, or since that is most reliable. But otherwise, I mean, number of tries doesn't really matter for TITS. It will work regardless. And the main thing people might have to look into is texture interpolation, since a lot of low poly assets you would want nearest neighbor instead of like bilinear interpolation, since that muddies the textures if you use low res textures.
Oh yeah, Miner followed up with the Linux Flatpak.
Yeah,
Maybe it didn't
I
have an
saw.
activation code. Okay.
I'm definitely writing it down and checking with Flatpak at what's possible there. I cannot give a definite answer, but I can say that I'll look into that. I currently just don't have enough information to give a definite answer about it would be possible or it would not be possible. Currently, it's just theory crafting.
Twisted. Yeah. We can't help you with the bugged model if you don't send it. Chappie has more of a API related question. Is it possible that TITS can integrate more data in the API triggers, like item properties? So imagine an item is thrown under fire that on impact in the triggers, it allows the overlay to interact with it, such as like the streamer catching fire or tick damage or something like that.
I'm sorry, I might not understand the question here. Let me read it real quick. Maybe see a bit more.
Mostly like more API endpoints. Cause she wrote me, in fact I can show it on screen. She wrote me a program.
mhm,
That's the HP bar. And
yeah,
I have it, she wrote it so it also integrates with StreamerBot as well. So right now, every time something hits, I have it flashing, like red and stuff.
yes.
So she's talking about like having extra things. She's even talked about having like a weight ratio. So like if an item has like a weight on it, that it does a different impact.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's talking about, just API endpoints basically.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think I saw the request in a support ticket at one point. The main issue is kind of how to assign like something like a damage value to a item or a property. Like this one does tick damage, this one does this damage. It would essentially require me to add data to objects that is just for a single like add-on that then users can specify, and that's a bit of a it's a bit of an issue because it would impact the experience of people that don't have like something that integrates with it. And it might confuse people if they have like a property on models that says damage and they have no idea what does damage mean.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a issue that I'm thinking about, since I was thinking about this and was really like thinking what would be the best possible way to do it. In the end, I thought maybe it's better to have something like have it calculate the damage based on the impact speed or impact force or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Since that I could add programmatically to the API without having to expose anything new to the user. Since the main issue is like it wouldn't be that big of a deal to add something like damage to objects as data. The issue is that then there might be more requests about adding take damage data, about adding this kind of data, about adding this, and then it's like you have all this kind of data on an object that is just there for outside programs and not even for inside tits. And
Yeah.
that makes it a little like hard to decide how to make this not impact existing users while maybe giving like new user like maybe adding some kind of feature. It's like something I've been thinking about a lot because I thought the idea was cool with damage values and stuff, but I was also thinking how to best do that without like really impacting user experience that much. It was something I have been thinking, like that's been something that I haven't been able to solve yet, but I'm thinking about how to best integrate something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. I do a lot of really intricate things on StreamerBot with it. Especially the on-hit stuff. Like I think my favorite thing is just doing the damage flash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think there would be a way to integrate something like that just natively for like a damage flash on hit. Like mine was talking about even just having like a color tint on impact. I don't know if that would actually be possible without a
Well,
lot of extra stuff.
not to. Again, it's kind of like the answer is it's not possible in tits natively. It will be possible in VConnect.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of those things where like that's kind of an issue that I also saw with tits. Like it has so much potential to add more things, more fun things, but it's just limited in its architecture and how it started, because it started off as just a simple like throw stuff at VTuber program that then
Yeah.
evolved into like people asking for, hey, can we import PNGs? Can we import GIFs? Can we import VRMs? Can we make it rain? And it just added so much kind of feature bloat that now it's so hard to work with because the architecture is just a jumbled mess of spaghetti code everywhere. And like it's so difficult now where I was like, okay, complete rework from the ground up. I know because at the beginning I had no idea how big tits could become or how many people would use tits.
Yeah. It
Just
was just
started
a
as
hobby
a hobby
project.
project. Yeah. And then and then over time by working on tits I noticed like, oh, this could be possible in a new program, or if I reworked this I could add so many more things, or it just started the idea of like a new program essentially over time.
Minor VConnect is the kind of code name for the new program that just got announced.
Yeah, I could, because I was working on it just a moment ago, I could show it off a little bit actually, but it's still very early.
But if you want to, that's up to you. But it's
Yeah,
there's no pressure.
I would be down to show it off to people, to show what I've been working on for the last, like, I think it's been like 3 years now that I've been working on Reconnect.
Well, let's grab the last of the questions in the thread, and then we'll talk about
Yes.
Reconnect. For donation-related throwables, Streamlabs, for example, will there be an option to change the currency? I only see US dollars, and I'm not from the US.
Yeah, so the issue is that also I think internally Streamlabs was dealing with USD as far as I know. So I think the API just gives me the USD value. I think it also gives the currency, but then the issue is always like looking at current exchange rates and stuff. I think it might be possible to change currency architecturally, but currently it's just a bit difficult due to certain aspects. It was just a lot easier as a developer to just say, oh, just have it in USD and people can just convert their currency to USD to get the values that they want.
Yeah.
Theoretically, but I also recognize that that is not the best user experience.
Oh yeah, because I was just looking at the Streamlabs donation, and it just says amount versus.
Oh yeah, but
I mean, Stream
I've
Elements says an amount, but then Streamlabs says USD.
Oh, that is actually a bug. Let me write that down because it should also say USD.
Oh yeah, okay. It does say USD, the throw for every X USDs. It does say that, but the amount.
Yeah, I'll change that. That is a quick fix.
Okay. That looks like everything in the thread. Me. Let's talk about VConnect.
All right, then I can quickly show it off.
All right.
Let me start a stream if you wanna.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just share my entire screen. I don't think there's anything. Okay, I'm just showing it currently in the editor.
Okay, one sec. Let me pop this out. Oh, Discord is what? Why is it not picking up Discord? I'm doing my whole monitor, but it won't pick up Discord on the screen.
That's
What?
weird. That's interesting.
Can I just bring the whole thing over? My whole Discord doesn't get picked up in there. Whoa.
Oh. That's interesting.
Oh, is it because I'm in streamer mode?
Oh.
Hold on, I'm gonna turn it off. That was it. Wow, I never knew that.
That is interesting. Yeah, didn't know that.
Okay, so let me full screen
Okay.
it. There we go.
Yeah, so it's currently I'm on the Linux version, so not everything is visible here. For example, Spout doesn't work. So usually you would see Spout here to see the VTuber model. It has the same settings here that Tits does, just a little better. Like, for example, like the target selection, but you can now add targets, rename them, edit them, put them wherever you want. Small things. Then, for example, for the scenes, I have also added OBS integration. So you can link them up with OBS scenes, and if the scene changes in OBS, it changes in Tits as well, or like in VConnect. Sorry, confused the name there. So these are familiar things from Tits, but then the asset manager has changed quite a bit. Actually, I would. Can I quickly hide my screen to set something up, because
Yeah.
I forgot to have any assets here to show off the asset editor real quick.
Yeah, let me move it off. There you go.
Wait,
You're good.
I'll just do this.
Oh, that works.
It was just a small toggle I forgot to set up. That should now be working. Let's see. Yes, that worked. Okay. Sorry.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, so since I noticed that essentially instead of the object importer that's currently there, it's gonna be now a full-on file manager with like where files can actually be properly viewed like this and edited. So all these 3D models have a 3D viewport up here. You can double click to actually look at it properly. So there's a lot of possibility for model creators. Another thing that I added that is quite nice is there's now an export and import feature to export these and have other people import them, which is kind of like what Steam Workshop should be. So model creators could set up models here, give them all these properties, and then export them. And other people can just plug and play, import them, and they have all their values properly set. Other small cool things that I added is stuff like small in-editor features like the material colors, where you can actually change colors right here in the editor, and it actually works over here. So you can make variations, can copy paste them as well, and I could over here make a different colored chicken, like a purple one, and I can have this like two variations of the same model. So that's kind of the improvements that were made here. And the main thing that really sets it apart is now how the triggers basically work, since I have completely reworked triggers to now be node-based systems completely. So I created an entire like node system to make this possible, to essentially create triggers. But I realized that for 99% of people, nodes are a bit complicated and are finicky. So I also added a setup wizard that essentially works like the like in TITS you can just select like a kind of trigger like on bits received, and then you can change like the filtering values, and then can select like what should happen now. For example, change colors, which is exactly one of these things, or like throw item, place sticker. And so you would select throw item, you can select objects here, and then can like set up the properties, click done, do stuff like enable repeats to say throw 30 items, set done, and it creates the node system for you. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's been so much work to be honest.
Looks like it.
It was a lot of work to make everything possible that vConnect can do. Obviously, the nice thing is also that everything here can be tested. So you can press test and it will show the node and have it properly work, which is really nice. And yeah, so in this case, I think I set this as throw item. If I now set the delay to like 2 seconds, I press test and go into the overlay editor. Oh, that might be loud.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, but it works. There's still a lot to iron out. Like I'm still working on fine tuning. For example, just now the models were quite small, so I'm still working on ironing out a lot of things. It has profiles, so you can create multiple profiles that have like a profile for YouTube, a profile for Twitch. You can have if 2 people are sharing the same computer, you can have 1 profile per person. And a better settings menu with like all the integrations that are added so far, and an easy way to add more integrations here to easily connect is also here. So I've been making sure that the user experience is a bit better than TITS currently is. And yeah, Node Manager was by far the biggest work that was required. It also has so many smaller improvements, like for example, it has that undo redo for almost everything. So whenever working in here and you say, oh, I'm changing this to 1, you can undo, and it actually works with undo redo every single property, moving things around, adding, removing nodes. Currently, the amount of nodes that are in here is also a lot for ending hotkeys. Like I have added a lot of different nodes that people can cook up something interesting with. That was essentially the intention. Make it so people can make really interesting new systems. And the cool thing is, because I made this entire node system, which took forever to flesh out to the point where it is now, it's now possible that new behavior can just be added by by me patching in a new node, and suddenly new possibilities open up instead of in TIDs where I have to do a lot of UI changes, have to facilitate new features. Here, for example, adding a damage value could be a node, and or like I could add a send API package node where people can like define their own data in some way.
I was just looking
So
at, you have, there's like green arrows connecting to some of the nodes, and then there's like white
yes,
arrows. So like you have
exactly.
one node connecting to like a bunch of different things, which is really cool.
Yeah, it looks a little complicated, but how it basically works, the green arrows are essentially the flow. Like this is
Oh,
where it starts, and green is like a flow that shows from which node it flows to which node and does things. Green
okay.
arrows actually do things, and the other, like the gray ones and different colored ones, they are data that gets shared between the nodes.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of inspired by Warudo, but I've made a lot of changes because I had some issues that I didn't like that Warudo had, so I put my own spin on it.
It's very cool.
So
LEG, the custom sounds for tits is currently still the same. So nothing has changed on that. Not sure how long
I'll need to.
ago. Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, what exactly the issue was with the custom sounds, because then I can maybe fix it.
Oh, we're getting back into ads. It's just a short ad, so 20 more seconds, and everybody be back. This is very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot because the work here has been kind of insane. Like it would take me a while to go into all the little details that are going on here, but that's not necessary. The main thing I think that people will really like is, because I know that like 90% of people don't want to touch nodes. They don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary when you don't know what is going on. So what I also made sure is that it's possible to export a node system and also import one. So you can have
Oh,
someone create a really cool node system that does something really cool.
and they
They
can share it.
export it, they share it, and you can even have it so
Oh,
any referenced objects, any referenced sound is also bundled in, so that if you import, it should just work. Everything should just work. You shouldn't have to
that's
touch it.
amazing.
That's kind of the intent behind it.
I love
So
that a lot.
that's
We're gonna do so much with that. There's so many of us that are like
hopefully.
sharing stuff back and forth. Like, how did you do that? Oh, well, I did this and I clicked that and that. And
Yeah,
I'll
I
just be
wanted to
like,
make
here.
that process really easy, because I notice in TIDS it's a pain kinda to share these workflows or share these items. So I made sure to make it as easy as possible. Import exporting was like a big thing that I really wanted to work. One thing that I'm currently working on, I don't know how far I can get it, is a process to essentially convert your TID setup into a vConnect setup, so that you have an easy onboarding. If you come from TIDS, you can have all your objects back in, your triggers kind of working. I cannot like promise 100% parity, since it is quite complex to obviously convert a TIDS trigger into a node system and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And currently vConnect is still in like UI development and bug fixing phase. But hopefully it should release in early access on Steam in a couple of weeks, I hope. But yeah.
One question I do have is with the tester groups that we're collecting right now, that we're collecting people for.
Yes.
What is it? What is their role in this?
Mainly just testing out things, testing out the features. Mainly, I expect a lot of them to use the setup wizard and like setting up systems like that. And I mainly want to find bugs. That's one big thing. And second of all, collect feature requests where maybe someone says, hey, I wanted to make this happen on my stream, but I couldn't get it to work. Is there a node I'm missing, or is it just not in there yet?
Just we don't know how much
So
are we allowed to break it. Find all the bugs, please.
yeah, break it as much as possible so it breaks before release, hopefully.
Take it around the back of Walmart and break it as much as you can.
Yeah, but I've already like given it to some to Maddie to test out real quick, and that immediately showed some smaller bugs, because the moment you give it into the hands of someone else, immediately all the bugs appear.
Yeah, right.
So I noticed immediately issues that needed fixing. There's still some things, but overall, it's pretty much in a feature complete state right now.
I wish it wasn't that way, but true. LEG asked about the Steam update. I don't know if we went over that specifically. I think we just kind of brushed on it a little bit for tits.
So that is something that annoys me a lot with Steam. Is Steam essentially denied tits to be on Steam? So they retired the program, so all the keys that I have set up on itch.io are now essentially null and void, which is really annoying because it was like set up for like what, almost a year, that anyone that bought tits got a Steam key automatically, which I thought was really neat, so that once I finally have tits on Steam, people can just get it for free because they bought it on itch. Which I wanted. I didn't want people to have to purchase twice. I find that I don't like that if I can help it. But since Steam retired essentially that app ID, all these keys have become useless. I had to transfer to a new app that I'm now trying to push through, because my most likely guess on why they didn't allow tits was the name. Is my most likely theory, that they didn't like that it had like the name tits. So now I rebranded it. I'm trying again to go through the entire review process. And yeah.
Well, Twisted, we think it might be the name because it's not classified as like adult content, but it is technically talking about adult content, so it's like it's sitting in a gray area, and we feel like they just said no rather than maybe.
Yeah, the issue is how Steam support kind of reacted. They didn't give me any pointers as to what I could do to make tits work on on Steam. They just stonewalled me, told me, yeah, we just are not we are just not allowing programs like these on our site and stuff. It was really weird. Like they were trying to not mention the issue that they have by name. So
Yeah.
which is why we only have theories. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the name, it's just my theory. I'm trying with a different name. If they reject it again, then at least I know it wasn't the name, but I still don't know what it is, why they are not allowing it on Steam.
If they
So
reject it a second time, I hope they actually give a reason, because otherwise...
yes, because they have not been giving any reasons for the rejections, which was very annoying. I've had back and forth with Steam support basically asking, can you tell me the reason? Hey, I'm willing to change things about the program to make it work with Steam, and they just said, "Oh, no, thank you." Basically,
Yeah.
it's been
We're not accepting
extremely
programs like
frustrating.
yours, but you have programs like us. Like, what do
Yeah,
you mean?
I was like arguing by giving examples of other programs that are similar that are on Steam already, and they were just no. So, which is why my only guess is that they have an issue with the name, but they don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So
It seems the most logical anyway. Because, I mean,
yeah,
what else is it?
now I'm just looking if it works with a different name. Currently, the name that I gave Tits on Steam is essentially I named it V-Throw now. So that's the name it might get on Steam.
We'll see.
I
Fingers
basically
crossed.
showed off, by the way, most of the things I wanted to kind of show off in WeConnect. Like there's still quite a lot of features, but like this is the main gist of what it is. How I would call it is kind of a spiritual successor to Tits.
All right.
Where my main goal was it can do anything that Tits can do, or most of the things, but also a lot more. And I wanted to make it essentially a kind of system that can also replace a lot of the bots that people use in their stream setups, because I noticed so many VTubers use a lot of different programs in their setup so that stuff runs, and I wanted to kind of condense it so that technically everything would be possible to set up as a node system in WeConnect, so that you could set up actions like if somebody raids with a number of raiders above this number, then give them a shout out, for example,
Oh, that would be cool.
and things like that. Like it's the node system is essentially a programming language, so people could set up their own behavior however they want. And that was kind of my intent, because yeah, that was the main thing I noticed for VTubers and or like streamers in general, that you gotta run like 8 different programs for your stream to get like all the custom behaviors going if you want to really like cook up some unique interactions. I just wanted to condense that as much as possible.
And it can do the same things that Thick can do as well with the color changer.
Yes, it can do that. If I go into setup wizard, I could over here say on child point redeem and then change VTS colors.
Oh, okay.
It can do even more because you can set up here multiple different art mesh specific. So if I do select art meshes and go over here, I can just click on that, set it over here, and then I have the art mesh selected, and I can select like random color, which in this case would be like you can set your own gradient between different colors, can add even more colors here, and then it would just pick a random color from here. There's also the behavior that Thick has, where you can use complex random colors.
Yeah. Is it gonna have the grouping as well? Like the art mesh groups?
That's kind of what the node system is before, since you can reuse these wait. If I click OK here and go back here. So if I have the system, click done. The groups are essentially just this node has the group of art meshes. So you can
Okay.
just copy it and paste it somewhere else. And that would work.
Okay.
That's essentially how a group in FIG was working. I
Yeah.
obviously had to adjust how things work and compared to TIDS and FIG to make it work with the node system. But technically, essentially, this has all the data that a group used to have in FIG.
Okay. Very
So
cool. Very cool.
that's. I was thinking about that as well. If I add the collection system, but then the more I thought about it, the less sense it made to add that system if all it is just copy and pasting a node. Oh yeah. Actually, another feature that I completely forgot to mention is there's also node groups currently. I can select, for example, all these nodes, right-click, create node group, which is currently a buggy UI. But then press done, and it's just one node now, this entire system. It's one group. I can press edit. You can see it entirely here. And if I go into another trigger and I open the node group menu, there is that node group that I can paste in and can add. So over here now there's that node group that was over here.
That's cool.
So I could go in here, or can you go here, edit node group, name it like color model, done. And now this can be used in any trigger like that.
So, but it's the same thing. So they're like referencing one another.
They are just the same behavior. They don't reference one another.
Oh,
Really.
okay.
It's just essentially this thing acts as if you added all these nodes to your system.
Okay. That would
That's
be
how
really
it
convenient
currently
for
works.
like when you're doing a lot of similar types of actions. You just make a group and then you just keep putting that group in there.
Exactly. Like you can make it's essentially like programming your own node, kinda. You want a specific behavior that usually takes like 4 nodes to add, and you reuse it a lot. You create a group, and then you can constantly just copy, use that node, that node group everywhere.
That's cool.
Yeah, similar to macros or something. Yeah, it's similar to Blender nodes, but Blender nodes work a little different since they work in like they are usually used for a shader graph, and this one is like more of like actions happen one after the other, and one action can happen a second later than the other action. So the node system UI-wise works similar to other node systems, but a lot of design decisions had to be made since it's essentially asynchronous. There was also a lot of work in making data properly work with it. And if I were to go into all the technical details of the node system, I would be here for like 6 hours explaining all the different like programming techniques used, all the kind of like roadblocks I stumbled across while working on it. And in the end, I noticed, holy shit, I essentially made my own programming language in here. It was intended as just a simple thing. And then it was like, oh, damn, this got out of hand. So
Alright.
yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. Let's wrap it up here because I still gotta take a break before I move on to my next thing for the Megathon, so
Yeah, I also still have stuff to do. I was actually in the middle of programming on this, and actually,
well, it
was there
works out.
still questions?
Shappy is here now. We kinda answered her question earlier. Shappy, I read your question off of the thread. Um, I can, I think I put a marker on this segment here, so I'm gonna clip it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't I've never done chapters in YouTube before, but I was gonna highlight this segment and then go through the video and make chapters of the different questions being asked or answered.
Mm-hmm.
To make it easy for people to find stuff.
I would hide the screen share now, by the way, or like turn it off. I'm always scared that I share anything about like the internals of the
Yeah.
program, so I'm just gonna
Yeah, go ahead.
turn this off if that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, my
Yeah,
background's different.
because
It changed. But yeah. It was awesome. Wait. Oh, okay. I like was on a different part of Discord. I forgot that I popped out the video. So I was like, where did the rest of Discord go?
oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably post this segment in the like the community guide section.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So thanks for hanging out.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah. And well, I'll talk to you at any time.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
maybe we could do this again.
yeah. I definitely don't mind answering questions and talking about this. The main thing for me is always trying to hold back in how technical I get, because I know that people, not everyone is tech savvy, not everyone understands like the technical details of the program and stuff. So it's like, how do I explain this without like having to
Yeah.
mention all the programming and stuff? Uh, that's always been the most difficult part.
Well, I know it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me too much, but I know like, 90% of the people are like, "What? What did you just say? That's a different language."
Yeah, exactly.
Full text spin them in circles. I don't mind the tech sub. Yeah, we have quite a few people that are either tech savvy or they've been around long enough that they have become tech savvy when it comes to these things.
Yeah. I noticed that the people here were more tech savvy, more on the tech savvy side, but still, I had to hold myself back of talking about like how my node system handles stuff like generic parameters and stuff like
Yeah.
the programming terms.
Yeah. So, well,
So
alrighty. Well, thank
yeah,
you.